Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motor Chaos. This is your host, Dave. I got a nice special guest, longtime Wheelstander driver, the Detroit Duster, Ernie Petit. How's it going, Ernie?
Pretty good.
So after all these years of doing wheel standing, Ernie, what still keeps you passionate about doing it?
Uh, you know what? It's a blast to drive, and as you're getting older, you kind of enjoy it more because sooner or later it's going to come to an end. So you just kind of want to enjoy it, and it's really a heck of a ride.
Yeah, you still out there, Richard Hutchins, and
Oh yeah, Richard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Richard and I did a lot of stuff together, over the years. Chuck Poole was very instrumental in helping me out, him and Jack Christman.
Then you got Jim Brewer still out there doing it?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy's still out there. And when you look at, like, him and Chris, Karamasini's and them guys, they're older, it makes you want to keep going.
Oh yeah, the Greek. No one actually knows his exact age, right?
Yeah, no, he's old.
I know he's in his 80s.
Yeah, at least. So it makes you, you can keep going and still enjoy it. And as long as you can put a good show on for the crowd, it makes it all worthwhile.
So how old are you now, Ernie?
72.
Yeah, you're getting up there. But age isn't nothing but a number, and it's if you still feel young at heart, you're good,
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, every time you climb in the seat and fire it up, it really keeps you going.
So how many events did you do last year?
Between displays and races, I did about 27.
Nice.
Which is down from what we normally do, but unfortunately, my brother was quite ill, so I had to take a lot of time off to be with him.
How's he doing now?
He passed away, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that. May he rest in peace.
Yeah. So this year, we're off to a little bit of a slow start. Just from the standpoint of, I had a little health issue here a week or so ago, and now we're looking really good again finally, and so we're going to be hard at it, and we're going to start with doing a Nitro Fest display at the Good Guys in March 15th through 17th.
I know Jimmy Brewer kind of didn't do as many events too because his wife's been having health issues.
Yeah, that's sometimes it crops up on you, and I was pretty fortunate. I ended up with a excellent heart doctor, and he got me all squared away, and so now we're getting everything ready with the car, making a few changes to make it better, and just gonna start putting the dates together and have some fun.
So 1974 is when you started your first Wheelstander, huh?
Nope, 1974.
That's what I just said. I said 1974.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard you. I thought you said 94.
No, I said 1974.
Yep. Prior to that, I drove dragsters and funny cars, but 74, I bought a car from Bill Shrewsbury, and it was the old mustard cutter car that Jack Christman had built him for Roger Ward, and we converted it to a Duster, and I've been using that name ever since.
And then you're currently ranked 15th for Wheelstander drivers?
Yeah, I guess that's somewhere in there. I don't pay a lot of attention to that. We just
Yeah, I read that on your website.
Yeah. And there's been, a bunch of us over the years. It's just unfortunate that lately we don't have that many new guys coming in, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Mark Craig was supposed to build a Wheelstander.
Yeah, that's Maverick's
Yeah.
nephew, and yeah, it's kind of difficult. I mean, problem is, like you say, a lot of it's been lost. The cars aren't out there. Guys, just don't have a lot of the knowledge because they're quite a bit different. It's not like you fill up the trunk with cement and go for a ride. There's a lot more to it than people really understand.
Yeah. Then last year, Jimmy Brewer's grandson Eric was telling me he wants to do a Wheelstander show, like in the old days, get as many Wheelstanders as he can at an event.
Oh yeah, God! I mean, in the '70s, I remember at the Grove and
Oh yeah, I
at
remember.
Yuga Canada and stuff. We would get 10, 12, 15 cars.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, we'd really go at it.
Yeah, I remember those days where you had two Wheelstanders at once going down a track together.
Oh yeah, we were. Matter of fact, we were a bunch of us. Were in Englishtown, New Jersey, and I mean, literally, the guys, you couldn't adjust your bar so you could lower the car anymore. I mean, guys were taping washers and stuff under the skid bars to lower the nose down, and I mean, it got pretty serious until, unfortunately, NHRA stepped in and put a lot of ridiculous rules on the cars, and fines for speeding and stuff, and.
Yeah.
But we put on some good shows. What's great about the Wheelstanders, you can have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. I mean, it's you have a wide variety of the shows you can put on. I mean, a single car can still put on a great show.
Yeah. Then you got Rick Reams got a nice Wheelstander. That Studebaker.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then like Kenny Nelson, back in '74 I signed Kenny's license, and we remained friends for way over 40 years, until he passed. And he always put on a good show. Him and Jimmy got into the flares and all that stuff. I was more into trying to go faster, and just put on a good show.
Yeah, you got Nitro Mike still out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully we're going to get there'll be a few more guys that get at it here pretty soon.
So now, you said before Wheelstander you drove funny cars and dragsters?
Yes.
So what, Nitro or
Alpha? Yeah, I also drove for a while for Chrysler. I drove a Superstock D-Automatic Hemi Challenger. Had an FX Cornet, front engine dragster.
So what year did you actually start drag racing, Ernie?
16.
When you were 16 years old, what year was that?
Yep. Oh, geez, that was around 60, end of 63, beginning of 64, somewhere in there.
So what made you get into drag racing?
I had neighbors that did it, and it's just cars, you're going fast. I was always interested in. Plus, I was too small to be a football player or a basketball player, so it was another neat way to meet women.
Okay.
I mean, what can I say? It worked good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question, Ernie. What was it like? What was it like for you the first time ever to go down a drag race track?
In which car?
Whatever you started in. Well, the first time you ever went down a track in any vehicle, how was the experience?
I tell you what, I was really nervous, and I was kind of. It tightens your stomach up and that, but after you got the other end, and ready to do it again. And then before you know it, it's whatever it takes to get the job done. I mean, you can be sick, you know, you can crash a car and build another one, whatever. I mean, you just keep going and going and going, and the drive just keeps getting harder and harder and harder. I mean, you just want more and more and more.
Now, like the front engine dragster and the funny cars, were you driving for somebody, or you owned them?
The dragster I drove for somebody. The FX car had a partner in it, and we were, you know, I mean, and it's the only partner I ever had, and we remained friends for many years until he passed away. And the rest of the cars have all been, you know, been my cars.
Right.
And if everything goes well this year, we're going to build an exact replica of the very first Detroit Duster, the mid-engine car that I purchased from Shrewsbury.
Yeah, very nice.
I miss that car. That car was just so much fun. It was just amazing.
So
I think I've had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We had like 6 different cars since then.
So what was the experience like for you the first time with a Wheelstander?
Well, when I knew I was going to make the transition, I had spoke to Bill, and I wanted to purchase a car that I knew worked, you know, and really performed well. And that way, if there was any issues, I knew it was me, so we could, you know, work on that end of it. And it worked out pretty good. It was way different. I mean, I remember we were in a little track outside of Detroit, Lapeer, and Tommy Maris and Chuck Poole were there. And Chuck come over, and he was just so instrumental in helping me get over some of the mistakes I made, because I was getting in the throttle. It was a mid-engine car. They had to really, really hit the throttle hard to get it up. Would go up and come down. I'm thinking, man, I need more power, and I would hit it harder and clear the back wheels 3-4 feet in the air, and you know. And it turned out that I was making probably as many mistakes as you could. And Chuck got in it and jumped in it and made a pass, come back and says, "This is it." And he worked with me for a while, and it was great. And every time he made a pass, it was more fun. You know, I used to love that car because it was a real stiff car. It had 3 frames in it, and back then we used to take off in second and shift to high. And when you click it into high gear, you could watch the front of the car just twist in the air. It was really pretty cool.
Wow. So now, when you first started drag racing at 16 years old, were there any drag racers out there at that time that were inspirational to you, that inspired you?
Oh yeah, I mean, because I grew up, you know, with the Ram Chargers and Golden Commandos. Coletta was just not far from me. Dick LaHaye. I mean, those guys were, you know, it. And then, like I said, early I had met Shrewsbury and a few of the guys, and kept watching them and kept getting the bug, and then late 73, early 74, I ended up with a car for sale, and we got together and worked out the details and put it together. And then I went from Michigan to California, so Bill could, you know, help me get a few things together. And Jack Chrisman had originally built this car, so he was very, very helpful in understanding the way it was put together, and really, really getting in tune with the car.
Right.
So it just kept going from there, you know. And we were lucky, you know. We raced all over Canada and Mexico and quite a few other places. And it's just been great. I wish, I just hope I have another 8 or 10 years to do it.
So you drove Dusters up until 1996. Then you built the
Truck.
mini semi. Yeah.
Yeah, NHRA was really starting to put a lot of restrictions on us, speed-wise and supercharger size, and a lot of things. So having a kind of like a funny car body, I don't know, to me was losing a little appeal. And my son and I sat down. Years before that, Kenny Nelson had little semi called the North Course Flyer, and Ken liked it. So him and I sat down and built the truck. And then we've just made a lot of refinements since then.
Now Kenny, he had that Star Shot white Wheelstander too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one at Great Lakes Dragway.
Yeah, and then one of my old funny car bodies I got from a well-known Detroit racer was called the UFO car. It was a Daytona funny car body, and when I was done with it, Kenny Nelson got it from me, cut the nose off of that, and he made the General Lee Wheelstander, which really he did an excellent job. It would come out very, very nice. But unfortunately, the TV series contacted him and would not let him run the car.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, so he only had a few passes on it and sold it to a guy somewhere in Ohio, and the guy made a bracket racer out of it. But, yeah, Kenny did a lot. Him and I did an awful lot of stuff together, a lot of touring and a lot of races. And then, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember what year it was. It was in the 90s. It might have been late 80s or late 90s. When Bob Regal came out of retirement, we got together and helped him out and signed his license when he come back with the copy of the 65 car of the Hemi Underglass.
So now the mini semi, the quickest you went was 135 miles per hour?
No, since we've made changes in it, the best we've run so far with the little truck is an 852 at 167.
Wow.
So, and because we really, I mean, it's for a Wheelstander, it's a very, very healthy engine. I mean, it's got solid billet aluminum heads, and it's got one of Doug Cletta's top fuel carbon fiber injectors and dual plugs, dual mags. I mean, it's a neat little piece now.
So now Great Lakes Dragway, you ran up there for 15 years?
Oh yeah, I ran there from 74 to 88 or so, and then in 86 I moved out west, and some of the tracks they just didn't want to pay the fee. You know, I mean, it cost us same road expenses as the big guys. You know, and a lot of the track promoters still had this mindset that our cars, you know, didn't cost us anything to run them, and which is, you know, to keep up with, you know, current equipment and good equipment, and it's they're still plenty spendy to run. So sometimes you have to make a decision of if you take less, you're going to wear your equipment out, not have anything, or you cut back on races, get the amount of money you want, where you can put on the type of show you want.
Yeah, it would be awesome to see you come back to Great Lakes Dragway one day.
Well, we're trying to work on some stuff for the latter part of this year to go back through the Midwest on several things. So I'm not sure if I can put it together. We're talking to some sponsors right now. And if we get enough help, then we're going to try to make it happen.
Yeah, because these days all we get to see is Richard Hutchins. That's pretty much about it. Well, and then Jim Brewer does like one event there.
Yeah. Yeah, Richard does a good job. He's a real big practical joker. And him and I used to, when I lived in Michigan, around September, October, I would take my rig down to Richard's, and then I'd fly out Friday afternoon. We'd run Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'd fly back home to run the businesses. And oh God, we definitely some stories about a lot of the stuff we did back then. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a ton of stories between you and all the other old Wheelstander.
Oh yeah, my gosh, it was that was part of the fun. Plus, we did a lot of Coca-Cola circuit stuff, so hung around with Willie Borsch and a lot of those guys on the circuit, and I mean, it was very interesting. Let's say,
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it's kind of gotten so corporate and money orientated because we used to have so much fun.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty much you roll in, put on a show, and you have to prepare and get to the next race. And it was way more fun in the 70s and 80s. I mean, it was, you'd almost say you would have done it for free. I mean, it was just so much fun. And we had a lot of guys that, you'd have your arguments and this and that, but when somebody needed help, everybody was there to pitch in and help you to make sure everybody made their runs and put on a good show.
So what's one of your greatest memories of Broadway Bob?
Oh my God. The first time I ever ran for Bob, he beat me up so bad it was unreal. His daughter would sit on a chair by the finish line. And if you come down before the finish line, he'd make a check mark, and then you'd go to get paid, and he'd want to cut your pay. Because he said, you come down early, this and that. Well, I wasn't that aware of the way he ran. And he got in my knickers pretty good the first time. But after that, Roger Gustin and Chuck Poole got me aside and wised me up. So after that, I mean, one night we were sitting there arguing over pay, and he just kind of fell off the chair on the floor. He passed out, so we had to wait till he come back around and finish our little discussion and then get paid. But it turned out to be kind of like a game, so every time you went in there, you were ready.
Wow.
But he did put on a heck of a show.
Oh, yeah. He was...
he was I don't know if you remember when he built the beer garden.
Yeah.
Right by the pits there, he used to come around and tell us, come on over, have a free beer. And then they'd make announcements, come over and drink with your favorite driver. I mean, he was making money like crazy. He knew how to promote and make money.
Yeah, he was a damn good promoter, Ernie.
Oh, he was. He was great. I remember we went in early for one race, and we did a display up in Milwaukee, and Mike Evergins was there with his jet car. We were at this bar. Fired up and off. So, yeah, everything's taken care of. Well, Mike fires up his jet, cops come, haul him away. It was an interesting evening where Bob was like, whoa. But he did. He would always have a good car count,
Yeah. Snake and Mongoose and all them.
Oh yeah, Garlits, everybody. Especially for being not that far from Indianapolis. I mean, he still had some decent cars, and it was a good 3-day show. He gave the people their money's worth.
Man, the prices were so cheap back then for spectators to get in.
Oh, yeah. And then, on the right side, there was a big cornfield. They always had the big corn roast and everything, on Labor Day and Memorial weekends and stuff. It, kind of miss those days. I mean, it was, back then we used to have the jet cars, the rockets, peroxide rocket cars, a friend of mine, Jack McClure, with the little go-kart. Yeah, the rocket-powered go-kart, Captain Jack.
Yeah, I remember Fred Goski made a...
Oh, Fearless, yeah. Freddie was a great guy.
Yeah, he made a rocket funny car.
Yep. Freddie he just was one super nice guy. It was a joy. We did, like I said, we did a lot of racing together. It'd be nice to have a couple more years in front of you like those were.
Yeah.
Where we had really good car counts, got paid good. I mean, the stands were packed. I mean, it was just so enjoyable. You know what I mean? There's more than once I remember at the Grove, 2 o'clock in the morning for, everything was backed up. You're trying to get the rest of your runs in to get paid, and the mosquitoes are eating you alive, and you're wondering, what the heck am I doing this for a living for? And then it's over, and you can't wait to get to the next track and do it all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, I kind of miss seeing all those cars. We're kind of working on a CD right now of making some runs outside of the car, and then get this little helmet cam we're working on. So when you're in the car, you see exactly what I see, through the floor, and daytime, nighttime, kind of hopefully to give somebody a perspective of what you really go through. It's a lot more difficult than a lot of guys think.
Yeah, my dad started taking me to watch drag racing. I was about 4 or 5 years old, going to Great Lakes Dragway and US 30 Drag Strip in Indiana. Because right now, I'm 50 years old right now, so that tells you how many years I've been watching drag racing now.
Oh yeah, all my kids. I have a daughter and 2 sons. They grew up at the tracks. My youngest son is still helps me out a bunch, and we were talking about trying to do another tour or two, and he looked at me and goes, "There is one thing to be nice, though." And I said, "What's that?" He goes, "If we could see more than the highway, the motel, and the drag strip, if we could do a little sightseeing, since they've been to all these states, and that's about all they ever got to see. Because you're in, major runs and packed up, and there's a lot of Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays you ran 3 different tracks in 3 different states.
Yeah.
You were working.
Yep.
Yeah, but all in all, yeah, it was worth it. You missed a lot, but you gained a bunch. From the people you got to meet, the fans. Many years you go back to the same track and the same people were there. And, we had, like with the Grove and stuff, we had big ramp trucks and enclosed trucks at that time. And you always had somebody that, one of the fans would tow you, so they'd tow you up the starting line and then back and everything. And after a while, they knew when you were going to be there, and you get to use the same people, and it was really nice.
Yeah.
It made it that much more enjoyable. So,
yeah.
But hopefully we get a few things put together, and I would like to expand the schedule for this year. To be honest with you, now.
Yeah, drag racing's all one big happy family.
Oh yeah, it really is. Everybody had certain expertises, and you're building a new car, you needed to do something, this guy'd help you out there, and you could take care of this here, and that's what makes it really, what the people don't see between the races. They don't understand how much work and how many hours that were, put into these vehicles and plus maintaining them and keeping them looking good. Because they do take a beating. I mean, these cars take a heck of a beating.
Yeah. So for this year, 2019, do you have any events booked yet?
I've got a few out here on the West Coast. Like I said, I didn't get real aggressive because I wasn't sure what was going to transpire. But as of last Friday, things are looking really, really good. So within the next probably 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to be really hitting the pavement hard on a bunch of stuff.
So when you do, when you get everything confirmed, you're gonna put it on that website, the Detroit Duster website.
Yeah, that is getting completely revamped here shortly. Unfortunately, the gentleman that was taking care of that passed away, and so I've already got somebody a little bit younger that really, really is sharp on that stuff and likes doing it. So we're going to be doing a complete revamp here shortly, and going to make a lot more stuff available on it of where we're going and what's going on, and keep an update too on the construction of the original '74 car and stuff like that.
Why don't you have someone make a Facebook page too for the car? A fan page.
Never thought of it. I mean, I go on Facebook and look, but I never thought about doing that. I probably could, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not the best when it comes to the social media, like Twitter and all. I've never done any of that stuff, and it's. But I'm meeting more people that are into that, so I'm probably going to take advantage of it here a lot more this year. So hopefully we'll get a lot more out where we're going and what we're doing. And
yeah, make a Detroit Duster like page on Facebook that people can give it a like, and then you can put out a schedule on there too.
Yeah, because a few years ago I got involved with, I don't know if you've ever heard of these Chrysler Airflows. They were only made for 4 years, from 34 to 37. Well, I got kind of involved in them, started buying them. I've been buying just tons and tons of parts for them, and I make parts for them. And so between the two, it's been keeping us really busy. I mean, so I do a lot of older car shows too with those cars, and so we're pretty busy. But I really want to take more advantage of the different social medias that are out there with some of the people that I have helping me in the car right now.
So do you ever take the Wheelstander to car shows?
Not so much to the car shows. I usually use the old cars. I have been slowly getting a lot more involved, though, with the good guys with the race car. They have a deal called Nitro Fest. It's like a crackle fester, and so we do the good guy. They do one in November and one in March here in Arizona, and we do both of those. And we've done some in California. We're going to be doing, like I said, expanding on quite a bit of this stuff. And I'd like to get the original car done to do a few more of the hot rod reunions also. Which would be nice. And then they have a deal in Michigan at Milan Dragway. It's a Detroit Dragway reunion. Because, Detroit's gone. and we ran a lot there. So we're gonna, with one of the cars, we're gonna try to make it back there this year also. So we won't be that far from the Grove. So maybe able to put something together up there. Be nice to run Richard again. It's been a while since I raced against him.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, he tried hiring a female driver.
No, I don't
He
remember.
he had a second car, and he called it the Swamp Box. And he was working on a deal with Playboy, and they were going to have a female driver, which unfortunately, and it never worked out. He got crashed a couple times, and so he kind of gave up on that. But we did like I said, him and I did a lot of stuff together. So it'd be kind of nice to run him again.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame that we're losing some of the guys, you know, like happening. But from what I do understand, though, is Shrewsbury's son, Ed, I guess, the flip-top car that Bill crashed, I guess his son is in the process of restoring that. So, you know, it might turn out a pretty good year totally. You know, some of these cars, you know, resurface. Because a lot of the people can relate with those, you know, pretty good.
Now, Ernie, as far as your crew, you said your son's part of your crew, right?
Yep.
Is he the only one, or you got any more crew members?
It depends on where we're going and how far we're going, because most of them are volunteer. We do have. I'm not sure. I might, if I get the original car done, I may put my son in the truck. I'm not sure. I mean, he's wanted to drive for years and years, but you know, I'd hate to see him get hurt.
Right.
You know, me, it's different. You know, you do it so long, you don't think about it in that aspect, but him, yeah, but then again, I can understand where he's at. He's been around him so long, worked on him so much that I guess I might as well give him a chance to enjoy it too.
So how old is your son now?
34. He's been bugging me since, I mean, God, when he was born, the only place he'd take a nap is in the seat of the race car, so this year's going to have a lot of different changes for us, and they look like they're all going to be for the better. So hopefully we just get more word out there of what's happening and what's going on, so people can maybe follow us a little bit better, which would be nice.
Yeah.
And you know, we're just going to take her from there and go. And you know, it'd really be great. I know Eric wants to put a deal together. He had contacted me. I mean, it'd really be great if some way we could just get all the, you know, as many of the Wheelstander drivers that are left, whether they have a car or not, just have at a drag strip somewhere. Grove would be great because it seemed like we all drove there. And just have one heck of a big reunion and party and get all the old guys out there and have some fun.
Yeah, that would be a amazing time.
Oh, it'd be great. You know, get a hold of Jack and Toby, Herman Trout, and, you know, like I said, Shrewsbury and some of the other guys, Art Morrison, and just have a great time.
Yep. That would be a party that would go late into the night. After the races are done, you guys would be talking all night long.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, as you're talking about doing car shows, which I got rid of recently. I used to have a bar here in Arizona, and every Saturday we had car shows. Well, I just sold the buy on that, and I went to a car show with my 37 Airflow, and I had a guy looking at it, and I thought I recognized him, but wasn't sure. So went up and started talking, and it turned out to be Jerry Ruth. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Jerry, the King Ruth out of Washington. He had top fuel cars, funny cars, everything. So we got talking, then I find out he only lives 4 blocks from me.
Wow.
And he has one of his original front-motor top fuel cars. So now we do a lot of stuff together with our race cars, you know, like we used to back in the 70s and early 80s, and it's great.
It's a small world, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, God, we every day now we get to talk and see each other, and it just it's great. You know, that's why I say if we could figure out some way to get a reunion and pick a track that everybody ran at that's still running. I mean, I think that would be, if we could figure out the logistics and the money to get everybody there, I think it'd be fantastic. You know, the younger generation needs to see it before they're all gone.
Right.
You know, and get as many of the still active drivers together at the D, and I think you could put on a good show.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, Bob had a pretty simple program. They did their Wheelstand Championship, and you got first one in the air, got so many points, the fastest, quickest, blah, 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 the longest. I mean, he had it worked out where it was it put on a good show. And like I said, everybody, the fans loved it. They really, really got their money's worth.
Yep.
So, yeah, it'd be great to have somebody put something like that together.
Yeah, well, Eric's definitely got a good idea going.
Yeah, I haven't heard a whole bunch about it. I know he contacted me for a bunch of information, and that's kind of the last. I get a text and once in a while or email from him, but I'm not sure exactly what all he had going on, but he told me it was going to be a pretty big deal. So I'm going to do some follow-up on it, and it'd be nice to be involved in it.
Now, I got a good buddy named Jet. His nickname's Jet Car George. He does a lot of videotaping at the Grove, and he sent me a message just now saying, tell you that he'd for sure videotape that event. He's like, hell yeah, I want to get them all at the Grove.
Oh yeah, that I used to run there. Well, when I first started with the exhibition car, I ran 2 dates a year, and then it went to 3 dates and 4 dates, and then they had a Mopar meet, and I did that, and everything. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time with Bob, and we just had an awful lot of fun there.
Yeah.
And it was, but we're missing that because everything is just like it's unfortunately dollars and cents turned into corporate.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you need the sponsor money to do it, but we can't lose why we're doing it.
Especially,
and most of it was for fun, and
especially with the NHRA, they're very corporate now.
Oh, way too. When I started, they started way before me. Shrewsbury and Regal and the guys, Maverick, and NHRA wanted us. Oh man, come to do everything, and then it kind of got like, well. We're getting so much money pumped in here. Well, maybe we don't need you to fill in and do this and that. And it just started, you could see it. Where, they had me drive from Michigan to Ontario Speedway. And we're out there supposedly going to race.